That is a violation on a level that I didn't know was possible. Not the innards. Oh, God. Oh, good golly. Hey guys, it's your girl Laisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are here with another reaction to Invincible. We're on season 4, episode 5, which is called Give Us a Moment. So last episode was kind of very much focused on what was happening in hell, for lack of a better term. Mark was summoned there to help out with the situation that was happening down there. He got a little bit of history on what's going on with the underworld and, you know, how Damien Darkblood kind of factored into the whole situation. But I think the takeaway from it was that Mark kind of learned that sometimes in life you got to make difficult decisions and you just got to accept whatever decision you feel like is the best one at the time, even if it isn't necessarily a great decision. And, you know, that he has a right to kind of move forward and be a bit happy and try to, you know, experience life. So, you know, he got returned to the surface and it looks like he's trying to do better as far as, you know, living his life more so in the present and not being so depressed. And we see that Eve was about to let Mark know what was going on with her, but then we see right at the end, Nolan is back and he is obviously about to talk to Mark about what's going on. So this is the first time that Mark and Nolan have talked, I believe, since they left the planet where his brother is from. I think because Mark has no idea at this point. He had no idea if his dad was dead or alive. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this conversation goes because yeah, Mark's been dealing with a lot and they didn't exactly leave on the best of terms back then either. So I'm ready to jump in. So let's do that. Just before I do, a reminder to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And once again, you can catch this reaction uncut on Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
I wonder how it's going.
Probably swimmingly.
He's going to war against his own people, so that's got to mean something.
It does.
There is no way we are going to be able to pull this off
without. Also, the Viltrumites are going to come for Mark regardless, so he's in it.
With only 50 of us left, we had no choice. I can see now how it could be considered wrong.
How?
Doesn't mean I'll help.
Mark,
fair.
The Viltrumites will always be a threat to Earth. Even more so now.
Yeah, now that they know you're compatible.
After they took you away on Thraxa, I thought you were dead.
He's tougher than that.
But Alan convinced me it wasn't too late to make things right.
He did.
So many people did die, Dad.
You have no idea, Mark.
And I promise I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it up to you.
And that's going to be a long time.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
You don't?
You'll have to trust me.
Yeah, you're just going to have to try and watch.
We need your help, but if the answer is no,
so be it.
I understand.
Except I still don't have a choice.
Not really. To be perfectly honest, no.
Tomorrow morning, okay? I have stuff to do first.
Of course.
Do you not want to see your other son?
One more thing.
Tell your mom that I miss her and I'm sorry.
This is a bad idea.
Probably.
Maybe.
But he does owe Debbie an explanation.
But I have to do it anyway.
Is he gonna?
I owe her an apology.
Exactly. She doesn't have to accept it, but
she deserves that.
Exactly.
Well, who's the apology for? Her or yourself?
Both. It's both, honestly. Apologies are if you genuinely feel remorse, you should express it. But you have to understand that the other party may not forgive you and they have every right not to forgive you. I feel like Nolan's at that place though. I don't think he's expecting, you know, Deb to go running into his arms. I think he just wants to express to her that he recognizes he screwed up. Don't be a coward, Nolan. Wiped out whole planets. Okay. She wants to hear it. Debbie she needs it too, though, for her healing. That man messed with her so badly.
Do you want me to go?
She wouldn't have opened the door if she wanted you to go, bro.
I did the unspeakable to you and Mark.
You did.
And then I did it again on Thraxa.
You did.
When Mark first got his powers, I was terrified because I knew it meant everything would change. Except I wasn't really a Viltrumite.
You never were, not in that sense. You were the nasty Viltrumite.
1,000 years old.
Oh, God.
20 years with you made me human.
He practiced this.
I am sorry for what I did to Mark, for what I did to everyone in Chicago, the Guardians, all the Thraxans, for abandoning Oliver.
I mean, you were about to die, to be fair.
Repair the damage.
That's not really repairable, but...
Fix all your problems with your superpowers. This can't be fixed, Nolan.
Fair.
You murdered people.
Yes.
Distinguished families.
So many.
How many sleep at night because every time they close their eyes, they see you.
Valid.
About to take my son to a war 1,000,000 miles away where he could die, and you think you can repair this?
Fairness, Mark agreed.
I wanted to say that I was sorry.
That's all he could do.
You said that. You're still here.
Debbie.
Okay. Leave, Nolan. You said your
I had
piece.
to see you again.
Oh,
Fuck
now we got into the
you.
the selfish.
Andressa was a
Don't say
mistake.
that. That disrespects Oliver.
I love you, not her.
Well, she's gone. That's not very convenient.
Do you realize how you sound?
No, he really doesn't.
You didn't love Oliver's mother.
That makes
as
it
opposed to
worse.
Make me feel better.
Yeah.
It just makes me hate you more.
Oh, but hate means you still love him.
I missed you.
Ow!
You killed him. Ah! Ah!
Debbie,
She kind of needed to do that.
I loved you. We had everything. And now it's all gone.
It's kind of a lie, though.
No.
Too soon. Too soon.
just let me.
Too soon. Too soon. You've done good
I
today.
saw your-
You apologized. Oh, well, that was coming back.
You got to say what you wanted to say. Now get the fuck out of my house and never come back.
Okay, fair. He did good. That's the most he could do. She got to say what she needed to say. I expected it to be pretty harsh. It's deserved. She pent that up for a while. But the fact that she's this upset says she's really not over it. Walking Dread? Okay, Kirkman.
Repairs in process.
Do you have nanites? Oh, maybe dodge. Why were you fixing something at this particular moment, sir? That is your fault.
Oh my God, thank
Is this a woman in this
You're the
suit?
fucking man!
No, and my dad would really like. I know, Dad. It just slipped.
Why are you in space? Maybe try pulling one of them plugs. There we go. We're fighting smarter. What is that beam?
I want more.
I feel like it's too much.
No, no more.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you thought you could take it, didn't you?
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
But don't. The fact that they actually stopped.
A little bit. Is
We need to
okay.
start doing that with false modesty going forward, folks. When people tell you to stop, do it.
Too much too soon?
It would be a lot.
Omni-Man is good now.
Hey, better.
If they're not stopped, they're gonna come here,
And kill everybody.
millions, and take over Earth.
Yes. And then basically force breed the rest of you.
I'll whip up some sandwiches for your trip.
Dad's like, get lost. So, how'd the chat go?
You've got a chance to stop the Viltrumites for good. We have to take it.
I know you have to go. But promise me you'll come back.
Where's Oliver?
What happened?
Nothing.
I thought I could beat up a Viltrumite. As long as you feel better. Can we, why is Omni-Man
going
not
on?
talk to him?
Why are you guys sitting in the dark?
But I guess it's because they don't want him to go and he's going to want to go.
Dad already left and didn't even wait to see me?
I agree. That was pretty messed up.
I'm coming too.
No, you're not.
That's exactly
Yeah,
why
I
Nolan did
am.
not want to talk to him.
And you need my help, just like I helped with Conquest and all those evil versions of you, so shut up! I wasn't there for my other mom, so I'm gonna save this one, and you can't stop me.
Right? Like, I feel like we can't stop him. Good memory to leave on, Deb. Good memory to leave on. Ah!
Just like old times,
Sorta?
the kid has enough to deal with. Not me messing him up the way I did.
That's
Mark.
why we're hiding as well. It's not going to be seen that way, Nolan.
So tell me about this Paul guy. I mean, I remember Debbie worked with him, but can't say he left much of an impression.
Did anyone back then?
I'm really glad she found someone.
Good.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Nolan wants a friend.
For what it's worth, I've changed. And I'm trying to make up for everything I did.
Good.
Like, where to even start?
But I've closed your account.
What, did I leave without paying my tab?
No, you're kind of Earth's most hated person.
Dress heroes, Nolan.
Kind of forget how you left, did you? So quickly? Everyone hates you. You kind of earned it.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be a while before anyone, if ever, in this lifetime forgives you. Good on Art for standing on his principles, though. I know that couldn't be easy. I understand that, right? Like, the way that Nolan left, nobody knows what to expect of him. Nobody knows what will trigger him, what'll set him off, even though it was never that deep for him. But yeah.
Oh, What was it you wanted to tell me yesterday?
What is that?
Going away tomorrow for who knows how long. What could be more important?
Instead
than
of giving
that?
him a reason to fight, I'll keep it to myself because that makes so much sense.
Mom,
I won't get to do this for months, so I have to get all my kisses out now.
Let her have the damn kisses.
We will, Mom.
I'll keep Mark safe.
Nah, cute.
Give him hell, guys.
I mean, they need to give them hell.
Carefully, of course.
Carefully destroy them, please.
How do we breathe in space?
You don't.
That's the neat thing.
I learned that back in season 1.
I know your trip home didn't play out like exactly the way you thought it would, but
Someone's approaching now.
I think it did.
I haven't been on a spaceship since I was a baby. Look at
Facts.
this
You're one of
thing.
the only kids that can say that.
Mark, take him home. Now.
No. My other home already got trashed because of you, and
Facts.
So I'm gonna fight to save this one.
Oliver.
And you don't get to tell me what to do. You didn't even come to see me.
Yeah, you're not winning this one.
I wanted to spare him.
We know.
I wanted to spare Oliver from me.
Oh, God. This is like the thing with Mom. This is about you, not him.
Yes and no.
Oliver used to idolize you when he was younger. What do you think the O on his suit stands for? It's not for Oliver.
He says it is, but it's not.
You're not gonna kill me, are you?
Not today.
Do you suppose I could have command of my vessel
No!
returned to me?
Actually.
Engage.
Ooh. Are you allowed to say that?
They're leaving.
Don't
He's like, please. Everyone can breathe now.
Everyone, stand down.
Everyone was clenched for like 48 hours.
It's the first time this planet's been Viltrumite free in over 20 years.
Facts.
Godspeed, boys. Don't fuck it up.
Respectfully, Cecil, you do a lot, but this is not the one you can comment on.
This is like my favorite thing.
Oh, is this gonna be Oliver's first crush? I just want to let you know, girl, he's only 2 years old. Aw, they're friends. I love it. And what's so crazy is that Nolan, this is so new for him on so many levels, as we learned from his flashback episode. He doesn't really know how to be a dad. I mean, he was getting there with Mark, obviously, with Deb's help, but he doesn't know.
Oh my God, Nolan. This is better than sex.
Damn, you need to step your game up, sir.
Nope, you're right. This wins.
He's like, this is, I can't top it.
Give up too easily.
Freakaleaks.
Lost my appetite.
This is going to be a very awkward trip.
Is everything okay with your dad?
How would he know?
He's been in a major funk. Oh, funk is it's a
They have it on Earth too.
I think he expected my mom to be happier to see him.
Why would he expect that?
Because he's kind of new to life.
He's not used to people telling him no.
Your brother seems upset with him too.
Everyone's in on the tea?
My suit's sensors just tripped.
I don't think so. But with this ship, you never.
Oh, God.
No, no, no!
I was about to say that. Do the sensors even work on this ship? The ride gone just like that?
Oliver!
Oliver's fine. The people who needed to be most worried were on the bridge. Not saying they can't get hurt, but I'm just saying, you know, a blast is not enough to take out a Viltrumite. See, he's out, but he's all right. My God, really? Right now?
This is what happens when you don't finish what you started, boy.
Here we go.
We killed you once, we can do it again.
Well, you didn't kill him, Oliver? Where's Nolan? Anyone? Oh, God, Tech Girl's gonna die. Right after. Oh, good night, Oliver. Okay, Oliver.
Get ready. This is gonna be a hell of a mess.
Nolan, save your baby. Can we get Oliver someplace? I don't even know where to put him. He's not okay. He's really not okay. Thanks for the assist. Don't really need it. I think you should go away, ma'am.
Weak spots or anything?
No.
There he goes. That's about it.
That's pretty much it. Maybe go for the pride.
Everyone's favorite traitor.
Oh, I know a more famous one, actually.
A man of few words.
It's true. Nolan doesn't really have much for his enemies.
I always like
God, dude, I'm not into you.
Let's Let's be honest. It was mostly your
Was.
magic girlfriend. I can't wait to taste her blood again.
Yeah, Mark ain't the same, Conquest. He been thinking that killing is a good idea lately. Damn, girl. I was trying to say, this is not your fight.
Avoid additional head trauma until repairs are complete.
How does she do that when she can't see where she's going? But I guess she's got sensors.
Eat this, you day old shit!
Uh-oh. Oh, I knew what that move was.
You guys are toast.
Alan, let's not get cocky.
Do you need to breathe?
Yes.
Go there. Go.
Oh yeah, I guess he needs time to learn how to build up them lungs, huh?
You gotta tell me all your deepest feelings again?
Right? Why don't you confess to me again? Remember how I'm like, I was your bestie? You did good though, kiddo. Jesus H. It's older Viltrumites.
Breathing again.
Conquest is no joke, man. Gee!
Your bloodline is some poison to our people.
If that were true looking.
Really?
Armor integrity at risk.
Yeah, I know!
Zoe, girl, I know you're trying to help, but I really think maybe you should head to that planet.
You two get to safety. You can't win this fight.
Wait a second. Where are you? And there he goes.
Those are his babies. I'm sorry. You gotta go.
Oh, I think I know. Follow me.
Yeah, let's use them to destroy their own backup.
This really seems like the wrong direction.
Trust her. She has to fight smart.
Search everywhere.
She's smart. They're not going to fire willy-nilly on their own ship. By the way, did this planet ask for y'all to be just crashing around and destroying? Not the same Mark, Conquest. Ow, I feel it. I feel it. Mark ain't letting go, though. Ooh, those blood vessels looking mighty strained, Conquest. One thing for Mark, though, we've already learned since season 1, he can take a beating. That might be his superpower. Once again, Viltrumites just cannot help messing up anywhere they go, huh? Ugh, all the blood. But, to Mark's benefit, he has not let go of that neck. He has not gotten up off that neck. Ooh, look at the color. Oh my God. But they say that a lion roars loudest when it's about to die. Don't let go, Mark. This is what Conquest wants anyway, deep down. Fight it off, that's right.
Where's Mark?
I don't know. They were moving too fast.
Over there! What were you saying? People were saying about Nolan's bloodline? Nolan's seed? You fell for that again? He still ain't let go of that neck, though. This is as brutal as last time. Not the innards! Oh, God! Oh, good golly! I was gonna say Nolan's saving, but I kind of think Mark needs to do this. That is a violation on a level that I didn't know was possible. Can we give up now, Conquest? I know it's the opposite of your name, but there we go. Oh, no, he's not giving up yet. Die! Jesus Christ! God! Who gonna put all that back in?
Holy shit.
There.
Just, can we all tuck Mark's innards back in, please? Not this guy still holding on to it in death. Jesus, Conquest, you petty. Holy.
Your ship is no match for a Viltrumite cruiser.
That's true.
They are our strongest allies. Trust they will survive and seek us out.
Yeah, as I said, out of the who was on this ship, they were the ones to leave behind.
Coalition of planets has been in conflict with the Viltrum Empire for too long.
Mm-hmm.
It is time. We were at war.
What does that mean exactly? I don't know. I mean, Supreme Leader here gives me the there's still something going on that he's not telling all of us.
Then where are they?
Where are they indeed?
I don't know.
Hmm.
What about Conquest?
He did.
Conquest can take care of himself.
Oh, and take care of he was.
So, you were right. This totally worked.
For
Color
now.
me surprised and impressed.
So, what now?
Indeed, what do we do now?
You're the coalition officer guy. You tell me.
Right? She's like, I got us to not die.
They're headed home.
You mean back to planet Viltrum?
Yeah.
Oh, if that happens, then we'll be 100% fucked.
Probably.
So what, does this thing have any good video games?
It's a Gildarian war machine designed for unequaled combat and destruction.
That was not a no.
It's got a few.
Exactly.
Can't give me like an inch more head.
That's probably ill-advised. Best y'all don't look detectable and stuff. It's hiding you well. Let's go with that. Okay, guys. Well, that was another action-packed episode. I don't think we've had that much fighting and since maybe episode 1. And yeah, like Nolan finally did what he's been trying, well, avoiding, I should say, since season 2. You know, I said it a couple episodes ago when it was just Nolan going on the apology tour to all the other planets. But when he said he couldn't go home, I knew it mostly had to do with Deb, right? Deb is really Nolan's home. For lack of a better term, like that is the person he feels safest with, the person he feels a connection to. And that's the person who, outside of his kids, of course, you know, that's the person I think has the most power to really hurt him on a really, really deep level. And, you know, it's not easy, right? When you really are sorry, when you actually come to a realization, I should say, that you've really wronged somebody and it's someone you care about, you know, it's not a good feeling, right? Like that's the way feelings work. Like when you genuinely care about someone and you hurt them, whether it was intentional or unintentional. In Nolan's case, it was very much intentional, but also unintentional because of his conditioning, but we'll get there. You know, you feel sick. It makes you feel sick to your very core. And that's how Nolan is feeling. And he's never had to experience this before because his conditioning has always taught him that this is what he's supposed to do. Like he's always known that there was something off and wrong on like an intrinsic level, but you know, he really just allowed himself to surrender to the propaganda and to the regime that he was born into. So this is very new for him to allow those feelings he's always had to just come to the surface and sit there and develop and grow and build. And it's a lot for him as well. But anyway, we see that, you know, he first off talks to Mark, lets him know the situation, gives him the whole rundown. And basically, I love that he said, like, this is a choice for you, Mark. Like, I'm not going to force you. There's no tricks. Like, if you say no right now, then so be it. But, you know, Mark is not a dummy and he recognized that regardless, he's in this, right? The Viltrumites are coming for Mark, if not Earth at some point anyway. So at least if he gets in with Nolan and them, at least, you know, he's got a chance to get some things that will help him fight better. So anyways, he decides to go and, you know, Nolan eventually, I'll get to the Oliver thing, but let's talk about him and Deb. You know, he finally does go and say what he needs to say to Deb. And the fact that she opened the door and let him come in to come and say it, you know, she needed to, as much as she said what she said, she needed to hear it. You know, she needed some level of closure from Nolan because, you know, he literally ran away, right? He destroyed her world, turned everything topsy-turvy, said the most hurtful, hateful things he could, and then disappeared into the stratosphere. And then the only other thing she heard about him after that was that he had gotten with another woman less than 6 months later and got her knocked up. So it was a lot. And Deb has still got a lot of unresolved hurt and anger about it, but she really didn't have anywhere to vent it, like in a safe place. And we saw a lot of like last season, her just kind of, you know, spinning out and dealing with the depression and all the emotions that came with that because she did not have that closure to really, you know, put a lid on all this stuff. So Nolan needed to come in and say that, and that's why she needed him to come in and say whatever. I think she really needed to hear from Nolan that he was in fact sorry. And even though she said to him she didn't care about his apology and didn't care about his feelings, it does matter because that was the biggest thing that Deb was struggling with in season 1 and 2 and 3. Is that she just, to know that you gave your heart and soul to somebody and that you were ultimately vulnerable with them, which Debbie clearly was, she was 100% invested in their marriage, to do that and then that person turn around and call you a pet, turn around and tell you that you were never anything more to them than a passing interest. It's hurtful, not just because obviously the obvious, but also because it demeans connection. It makes Debbie feel like, was I really that blind that you're telling me that I didn't feel this very real connection between us? You're telling me that was all tell a lie. Like that is something as humans that is it's very precious to us to be able to feel like we can read a situation and read a connection. And when you have something like that happen to you, it can really it really will have you wondering if you can trust yourself or trust your instincts in any way, shape, or form. And that's really, I think, what Deb was struggling with the most, because we've seen that Deb is very, very smart. She's very observant. She's astute. She's got a good read on people. She's not the kind of person who would misread a person and their intent that badly, if that makes sense. I think if she ever picked up that Nolan was acting 100%, she probably would have never gotten to the point of marrying him. Or if she did, she would have left him. But the connection was real, is the point. And even Nolan didn't realize how real it was. And that's what he was very poorly trying to articulate in that conversation, was that it did take him losing it all and getting out there and being in the, being away from her and kind of breaking everything for him to actually recognize that, no, these are real feelings. This is actually real. I actually do love her. I actually do value our time together. She really did change him, but he couldn't have, I should say he couldn't have. Maybe if he had felt like the mission and the conditioning had not been so strong in him to continue doing what he was told or ordered to do, he would have come to the conclusion on his own that all those feelings were real. But, as he explained to Mark, as he explained to her, like once he saw that Mark got his powers, it's like the conditioning kicked in. And that's the part that, Mark and his mom will never really understand about Nolan. Like he's told them about his past, but they don't understand. Like that flashback that we got a couple episodes ago of what Viltrum was like. And even then it was a taste. We really didn't get all of it. But just seeing how Nolan was in this world where little children are being told to fetch their own food and shelter and survive when they haven't even hit puberty, to know that they're going to get killed just doing regular training and exercises, to never know what maternal and paternal love is. They don't have love even amongst each other as breeding. Like it looks like, after the big switch up and the big purge, they never had like even true romantic relationships anymore. It was like you got together for the purpose of breeding or, taking care of your carnal needs. But otherwise it was like, at any given moment, I'll kill you. So like Mark could never fathom what a world like that is, because, that's not the way they were raised. That's not Earth, right? Earth's got a lot of messed up stuff, but by and large, we're not in a place where, it's survival of the fittest everywhere all the time, right? So, as much as Nolan has screwed up immensely and he absolutely deserves to, get his licks and go through this, to his defense, I guess you could say, just to understanding his character, this is all new to him. All of this is new. Having a true affectionate relationship, having love, like we see in the flashback that Nolan had some level of affection towards his father and vice versa. But even what little they had is like comparatively to what he has with Deb and Mark, like it's not even in the same ballpark, right? Like what his dad had for him was like slightly less disdain and hatred than his mom. and Nolan held on to that so much, right? Even that little bit made such a difference for Nolan. So yeah, all of this is new for Nolan. This is his first time ever experiencing this. Even though he's over 1,000 years old, it's the last 20 years of his life was the first time he experienced a truly loving connection, a truly romantic connection, what it is to have a mate, a soulmate, to have gentleness, to have kindness. And, he just really didn't realize how much of it had affected him until he almost lost it, right? And that's just, and considering, like I said, the way he was raised, considering his environment, I don't think, like I said, I think it would have been very hard for Nolan to have figured it out any other way. So anyway, I'm glad that, Nolan got a chance to say what he had to say. Like I said, I think he took a long time thinking about what he wanted to say, and because he said it very well. And, it was a little selfish for him to come and see Deb, but I do think that she deserved that closure and she deserved to hear the apology. And as he said, I'm not asking for forgiveness because I don't have the right to do so, but all I can do is try to earn it and show you that I'm actually sincere. Now, of course, Deb has the right to not want anything from him, to want him to leave. She said, go away, never come back. Sorry, I don't believe you, Deb. You're a little too emotional when you said that. The fact that you punched your hand bloody, like she still loves him. The bottom line is she does still love Nolan. And hearing those words, they did affect her, but she's not ready to process it all right now because the anger is still too much. The hurt is still too much. And while I do think Paul has been great for her, as far as just like Art said, she needed to have that calm, normal, uneventful relationship to allow her to just allow those big emotions to kind of settle. But as I said, I don't think it was ever, it's not that deep for her and Paul. I'm telling you right now, for Deb, it's not that deep. She is still processing her emotions for Nolan. Nolan was the love of her life, and she said it multiple times. And now that he is, alive, because she wasn't sure if he even survived, and now that she knows that he's potentially changing, I just don't believe Deb's not affected by that, right? Because they didn't really divorce, guys. They didn't really break up. Nolan just left. He really just kind of up and left. So that is still a book that's not closed yet on either end. But, obviously nothing's going to happen right now because Deb she needs to process her own feelings around it. But also, of course, Nolan has to prove himself, right? Right now it's all talk. We need to see, and it's going to take time, right? If there is any hope for those two, it's probably going to be a while from now. But digressing, so that I think was a really good scene, and I'm glad that Deb got to say what she needed to say. I knew it was going to be angry and vitriolic because she deserves to get that out. Like, Nolan said a lot of really shitty things to her before he left, so I expected her to get a bit of a lick back. But, we'll see what happens from this point forward, because if Nolan is in fact trying to fix or do better, then he's going to be around again when this is all said and done, assuming he survives. So that was that. We find out that Nolan avoided seeing Oliver entirely, and, I thought it was because maybe he just wasn't, because he really only spent a few months with Oliver, so I'm just being realistic. His bond with Mark would be stronger, but we see that it's because in his mind, he's like, well, look how much I've done to Mark. Look how much, pain I've caused him. I don't want to do that to Oliver. He's still fresh. He's still, he's still not touched by my poison, so I'm going to distance myself. But, Mark pointed out to him on the ship that that's selfish. Like, you're not doing that. Just like it was kind of selfish for you to go see Mom. You avoiding Oliver's for your conscience because you feel some type of way and you don't want to feel worse. And you need to, that's not fair to Oliver. Even if you see Oliver and he tells you to screw off, you owe him that because you're his father and you caused the death of his mother and his people for the most part. So anyway, I get it though. Like, Nolan is trying his best, and this is why I have empathy for Nolan, is because he doesn't know what to do, really and truly. Right? Like, as humans, you can be like, blah, 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 blah. He was never taught that, right? As humans, we know what to do. We understand that there's steps and there's things you need to do, but Nolan literally has no idea how to navigate this. It's all fresh waters for him. So, he's doing what he can with these emotions he's never had to deal with before, and it's a lot for him as well. Again, he's going to have to deal with it because he still did what he did, but, that little bit of not sympathy, but a little bit of understanding, I should say, for Nolan is that he is trying to navigate this. But, Mark's, you can see that Mark is upset with his dad, but you can see a lot of his hate and the initial visceral anger he had kind of went away in season 2. And now it's kind of more about, just dealing with all the stuff that he already has to deal with. So, thankfully he doesn't have too much to deal with where Mark's concerned, but yeah, he's going to have to rebuild that with Oliver. It's going to be easier though, because Oliver is clearly, as I said, he's untouched. He has no reason to have any deep visceral problems with Nolan, right? And we saw that last season when he was still proudly wearing the O and still being like, but why does everyone hate dad, right? Like, yeah, Oliver's giving him a little bit of teen back talk right now, but really all Nolan has to do is spend 5 minutes with that kid and he's gonna be right back on his dad's side, right? So Nolan just has to realize that, get over his fears and just kind of do that. So yeah, that was kind of the Earth stuff. The conversation between Art and Nolan was really great. I really love how they're showing that, despite the fact that Art looked chill and had the conversation, he was terrified the entire time. Like, Nolan really has never had to live with the repercussions of his actions before, right? Like, literally in this last few months with him going to the different planets and everything, this is the first time in his life, in his thousands of years, that he's had to really sit back and see the aftermath and feel the repercussions of his destructive nature. And it's new. It's new for him. And so he's not understanding that for people like Art and everybody else on Earth, that in this lifetime, they probably are never going to trust him again or feel any type of way that's fully warm towards him. But that's something that he's learning, right? And hopefully he's going to learn to understand that as time goes on. Like, not everyone's going to be as accepting as Alan, right? Alan's kind of a bad precedent, actually, for what it's going to be like for Nolan going forward. Because, no, Alan's chill, right? Alan's very much, I'm in the present, the past is the past, but humans don't work like that. We hold grudges. We are nasty about that kind of stuff. But yeah, outside of that, let's get into the juicier part of it, which is Conquest versus Invincible Part 2. Man, I didn't think we were going to be getting that rematch so soon. I knew it was coming, but I felt like it would be something that maybe would be closer to the end of the season, which makes me very scared for what's coming at the end of the season. But yeah, we had everything on the ship. Things seem to be going pretty smoothly. Love that Oliver is making friends with the tech girl. There's a little bit of awkwardness, of course, around the Greys. because Nolan is, he doesn't know how to traverse, he doesn't know how to navigate this. And obviously, well, Mark's not going to make it super easy. And Oliver is just, again, with Oliver's, all that Nolan has to do is reach out. But anyway, Nolan he's processing. And anyways, we see that they think it's going to be smooth sailing, but then they get attacked. And it's a Viltrum ship, but it's got 3 Viltrumites. We've got Conquest, and the black guy, I'm pretty sure, is the one that Nolan fought on Thrax. The guy who he ended up ripping out his intestines. I'm fairly certain that's that guy. And then another dude. And again, the mole, whoever it is, strikes again, because how would they find them? They were in hyperspace, right? But anyway, it's bad. 3 Viltrumites is still a lot, even though there was 2 technically 1 Viltrumite, 2 half Viltrumites, and an Allen. And that's quite a bit of firepower, but even with that, it was getting rough. Conquest being one of the bigger issues. But one thing I love about this battle with Conquest is that I saw, and they did a good job of showing, that even though he's healed physically, he emotionally was broken from that fight. He wasn't really recovered, and I do think he wanted to die. I will stand by that. I think he was ready to go. But anyways, we see that things got really bad. My poor Oliver, he's out there trying his best, but he's not as strong yet. He's the youngest one there. He is only 2 years old. I got to remind myself that he's really in Earth years, still extraordinarily young. So, I don't know if the Viltrumite genes accelerate along with him, but I have a feeling they don't. So point is, Oliver's got a long way to go. He's still effective, but no match for full-blooded, full-grown Viltrumites. And, obviously we see that Nolan's protective nature came in immediately. And I think Oliver needed to see that his dad, even though he was pushing him away, his dad came to his aid several times. He wasn't going to let him just get killed out there. And I love that he even saw that little moment where he's like, you need to breathe, don't you? He realized that of him and Mark, he's not going to be able to hold his breath as long as him and Mark are, right? So he knew that he would need to hit the planet. So just tuning in and becoming parental, and I think that even Nolan doesn't realize how paternal he is with his kids, because he never grew up with that. So that is very new, but instinctual. And, the battle continues. And of course, Nolan is doing his best to not let anyone die, because he's really the only Viltrumite in that group that can go up against any of them with a prayer of surviving. And anyway, we see that Conquest goes straight for Mark, and he goes in with the emotional stuff, but we already know, especially when he says to him, because we already know that Mark's been struggling all season, but he says the quandary, the question, the conundrum that Mark has been struggling with all season, which is, do you finish it off or don't you? Should I end it? Shouldn't I? And what does he say? Conquest's first line out of his mouth: this is what happens when you don't finish what you start. Right? So Mark doesn't need to hear this. He's still very much agonizing over what happened in episode 1. So that kill was Mark channeling, and I said this already, he's channeled a few times when he's gotten to these situations, all the frustration, not just about that, but from Levy and Marks and all the things that have been happening since season 1, all of that got channeled into him wrapping his hands around Conquest's neck and not letting go. You could see that Mark, in his heart of hearts and every cell of his body, he said, if it kills me, I am never letting go of this bastard's neck. I am ending this. And I mean, it's twofold, because as I said, some of that is because of, the conundrum plus the trauma that he was channeling, but also the fact that, Conquest straight up said, I'm coming for your girl once this is done. And he knew that was true. So, Mark was also like, you almost killed Eve once. I'm not letting that happen again. Right. So that was done. Conquest, it's interesting because Mark brought up the fact they said, hey, you remember when you confessed to me that you're actually vulnerable and tired, and you don't like that people treat you like an animal? Remember you told me your soft little feelings? And Conquest, of course, I think that actually threw Conquest off immediately when he heard that, despite what he said. That hit Mark pointing that out. I know it was more to taunt him and to get into his head, but it's also a valid point that the reason Conquest, I think, lost this battle in the end was because he doesn't really have anything to fight for. The Viltrumite purpose is not one that is truly held to heart, I think, by most of the Viltrumites at all. It's indoctrinated. It's a way of life. It's been beaten into them. Fear and shame and all kinds of things have been absolutely entrenched into their minds around this dogma that they've been raised on. But it's not something I think any of them truly have a vested interest in believing. Right? Right now, the remaining Viltrumites, a lot of them that are still loyal, it's a matter of survival, right? No one wants to go extinct. but I don't think any of them really truly believe in it. And that's the truth of Conquest as well. Like, his confession to Mark last season was him basically saying, you know, monologue aside, I don't believe in this. Like, I did it because it's my duty, but I've done everything they've told me to do, and I still hate myself, hate my life. I have no purpose. Like, everything sucks. I actually gotta hate myself, right? There's no fulfillment from this so-called mission, this so-called grand purpose we're supposed to be fighting for. So, you know, it just shows that, like, you know, in his own way, Conquest is kind of like Nolan. Like, it took hold, obviously, in him, and he's one of those people. I talked about it a lot last season about Conquest, but, you know, I think Conquest just kept doing more and more and more, hoping that he would beat away, that sounds terrible, that he would, like, beat up his feelings and beat up his conscience and sear it to a point where he would never feel anything. But even with all of that, he still had self-loathing. He still had a sense of emptiness. So anyway, all that to say that I believe that is why Mark really won that fight, is that Mark does have something to fight for. He has his mom, he has Eve, he has his friends, he has his brother, he's got people he loves very, very, very much, and a planet he loves. And that, you know, I will always say, like, love is the strongest driving force on this planet. Hate is strong, but not as strong as love. And so anyway, you know, that is why Mark had it in him that despite being beaten so badly, beside literally being disemboweled, he couldn't let go, because he knew if he did, it would cost the people back home dearly, pay a price he wasn't willing to pay. So he did what he needed to do, and that's what Conquest didn't have. And I know that during that fight, I love, you know, you didn't hear much. Conquest didn't, well, he couldn't say anything. He was not really in a position to say anything. But I don't think Conquest would have had anything to say, because I think Conquest recognized that this kid, who is quite literally not as strong as him, Mark isn't as strong as Conquest right now physically, like you're talking bar for bar, but Mark had something to believe in. I think Conquest saw that, and that resolve is what broke him down eventually. And I really like that they show that Conquest just in the end, because no one really wants to die. Like, I think he did want to die in the sense of he's tired of this life, but, you know, in the throes of your last moments, you're not going to necessarily just give up either. It's not in his nature. So him pulling at Mark's innards the way he was kind of his last, you know, last struggle. But I think he's at peace. You know, I really do think that he went out the way he was supposed to, fighting. He wasn't the strongest in that particular fight. But yeah, for Mark, you know, it sucks that it had to be another life taken. But in this case, there was no other way with Conquest. There really wasn't. Nolan would have killed him. You know, like there's just... There was no other way in that case. I think even if it wasn't a Conquest, Mark's kind of at that place, you know. But yeah, I feel like, you know, because I will kind of talk about, you know, for how many lives Mark takes this season, you know, whether or not I think it was something that he has a choice in. I said, like, when he killed Russ, you know, I think in that situation, I understand the decision. I would have wished it could have been something else, but I understand it. In this case, I feel like there wasn't another option. Conquest was going to kill him. There is really, that was literally self-defense in that case. So anyway, that's where Mark's at. He's not in good shape. Nolan just kind of staring at him in horror. I think there's twofold things going through Nolan's mind right now. One is how much Mark has changed, because we have to realize that Nolan really does not know what Mark's been through, right? Since he left him on Thrax. I think he's shocked that Mark did this, because the Mark he left, the Mark that he knew and raised, would never have killed, right? He probably would have been the one dead. And secondly, the shape of his son, right? Like, I don't think Nolan ever in his wildest dreams thought that Mark's gonna die. Like, even though he's been saying, you know, he conceptually understands that this war could kill him, I don't think it really hit him that Mark could really get, you know, really die. And so, yeah, seeing Mark like this is gonna be a bit much for him, and definitely traumatizing for Oliver. But anyway, we know them Viltrumites come back from damn near everything. So yeah, they're gonna get to scooping all them guts back in and getting him someplace. I don't know where they're gonna put him. I don't know where they can put him. There's no ship nearby. I guess they're gonna have to figure it out and patch it up on this planet. But yeah, quite the battle. Very messy, very ugly, very sad. But Mark did that, right? I think Mark needed to kind of break through that, just as far as, like, you know, how that fight made him feel, particularly with what happened to Eve, I think left Mark feeling some type of way. So I am interested to see where Mark's head's going to be at when he gets his strength back. I still think that despite the fact that it was self-defense and it was Conquest, who pretty much no one's gonna miss, I still think it's gonna affect him much like Russ's death did. So yeah, we'll see what goes through his mind and how he'll feel about it now with his dad here, right? Which I said back in episode 1 that I feel like Nolan's one of the few people he can discuss this with who will have a better understanding on a different level than other people in Mark's life. And I think that'd be a good conversation for Oliver to hear as well, because we saw that last season Oliver was struggling with the value of human life and why he shouldn't be able to do what he wants with his strength. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping next episode we get some father-son bonding and some good conversations, because they do need to talk. But yeah, another excellent episode. I enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.